Hello and thank you for attending my PowerPoint presentation on Ruan Mei, the Elegant Genius. Ruan Mei's design just exudes elegance. She just looks really nice and pretty. She is incredibly morally dubious, honestly, all things considered, and I'm fairly sure that she would be somewhere on the autism spectrum, which, again, she's not stupid. In fact, she's a genius. It's just that, based on the way she acts, she's probably would be diagnosed somewhere on the spectrum. In gameplay-wise, she is one of the strongest characters in the game. She has massive buffs to various multipliers on top of one that is absolutely essential for break teams. Also, everyone knows about and loves the occurrence that she added into Simulator and Divergent Universe. There's a strat in Golden Gears that forces it to appear 100% of the time, which I made a video on a really long time ago. I would not recommend checking it out. Unless you're really interested in that strat, in which case go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. In terms of base stats, it's okay, although none of them really matter that much except for speed and energy cost. She has a weirdly high base attack, considering that she has almost no use for it whatsoever, which is a weird choice. Okay, her basics are basic. They generate 1 skill point and 20 energy. Her skill gives her overtone, lasting for 3 of her turns, which decreases at the start of her turns. When Ruan Mei has overtone, all allies get a pretty big damage bonus and 50% weakness break efficiency, which is huge. This consumes 1 skill point and generates 30 energy. This is the core of her kit. 50% weakness break efficiency is nice for most teams, but near necessary for break teams and especially super rate teams, considering that weakness break efficiency, or rather toughness reduction, is straight up in the damage formula for super rate damage. So, her ult does so much that I can't fit this on one slide. Her ult deploys a zone that lasts for 2 turns. The zone's duration decreases by 1 at the start of her turn. While inside the zone, all allies gain a huge all-time res pen buff, and their attacks apply Thanato Plume Rebloom to the enemies that they hit. Whenever enemies with Thanato Plume Rebloom try to recover her weakness break, it triggers, extending the duration and delaying their action by an amount equal to 20% of Ruan Mei's break effect, plus a fixed 10%, and dealing break damage equal to a percentage of her own ice break damage. Enemy targets cannot have Thanato Plume Rebloom applied to them until they recover from weakness break. This costs 130 energy. This is another core part of her kit. 25% all-type res pen at level 10 is a multiplicative 1.25 times boost to all other forms of damage against enemies with matching weakness types, and about 1.31 times otherwise. Her talent gives all allies a significant speed boost. Whenever allies break an enemy target's weakness, she then does damage equal to a percentage of her own ice break damage to that enemy. This is nice personal damage, though it's not that much. The speed boost is very nice though, like it can push things like Firefly to her speed break point. After using her technique, she gains Silken Serenade. At the start of her next battle, she automatically triggers the skill 1 time without using skill points. This does generate the energy though. In Simulator Divergent Universe though, when Ruan Mei has Silken Serenade when directly attacking enemies, every blessing will increase the toughness dealt by 100% of the original, up to 2000% with 20 blessings, on top of ignoring weakness types. If it does break, then she additionally deals 100% of her own ice break damage to the enemy. Her A2 trace gives all allies, including herself, 20% break effect passively. Her A4 trace regenerates 5 energy at the start of her turns. Her A6 trace causes her skill to give an additional 6% damage bonus for every 10% break effect that exceeds 120%, up to 36% extra with 180% break effect. So in total, this equates to about 50 to 70% damage bonus on her skill, which is again very easy to maintain. She also gets 22.5% defense, 5 speed, and 37.3% break effect from minor traces. Her E1 causes her ult zone to also give all allies 20% def ignore, on top of the 25% all-type res pen at level 10. Her E2 give allies 40% attack when hitting enemies that are weakness broken when Ruan Mei is on the field. None of her effects need to be up, she just needs to be on the field. So with E1 and E2, the total list of her buffs are 50% weakness break efficiency, 20% death ignore, 40% attack, 25% all-type res pen, 60 to 70% damage bonus. On one character. Her E3 gives +2 trace levels to her ult and talent. Her E4 gives her 100% break effect for 3 turns whenever an enemy is weakness broken. Her E5 gives +2 trace levels to her skill and +1 to her basics. Her E6 extends the duration of her ult zone by 1 turn for a total of 3 turns. The talent's break damage multiplier also increases by 200%. So she provides absolutely massive amounts of all-type res pen, damage bonus, speed, and break effect on top of death ignore and attack when you account for E1 and E2. That is a lot of buffs, which is absolutely wild. On top of her already insane buffs, she's also really comfy to play. If you've been taking note, her cooldowns all only skill of her own turn, so you don't have to worry about your attacker's action advancing or anything. And also, like I briefly mentioned in the base stats section, she doesn't really need attack, so she can run HP and defense main stats on her body and orb, which makes her really tanky. Canonically speaking, her name is a combination of her parents' surname, which is funny, considering that the Ruan is just the instrument that she's playing in her basics, and Mei just refers to the plum blossoms that are heavily referenced in her design and animations. Also, there's this clip from the CM 1.6 stream.
好哎，那我要光明正大的做阮梅女士的实验中的狗。
那个小飞老师，人不能。
Alright, hope you enjoyed. If you did, do like and subscribe. If you're interested in breaking super break, as I briefly mentioned, check out this video where I go into detail. And if you want more PowerPoints, here's the playlist. Alright, bye.